Hello everyone, this is Sambhu from Cloud Tech. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will demonstrate about one very important service and very interesting service, AWS Transition Gateway. So this is the architecture diagram of this AWS Transition Gateway. And in this, what I am going to do, like I will take two VPC. One is the VPC1 and VPC2. And VPC1 I have deployed in that US East 1, and VPC2 I am going to deploy in West East 2, like Oregon and Virginia. Okay. And then VPC, there are multiple component in my previous session where I have explained that about this VPC component like route table, subnet, and then CIDR value, and then internet gateway. And similar thing I am covering here also, like internet gateway. And here I am in this VPC, I am going to launch one database system, and VPC1 I am going to launch one app server. Okay. And these two are the CIDR value. Apart from this component in VPC, there are many other components. In my previous video here, I have explained each and every component about the VPC. So if you guys not yet watch my previous video about this VPC component, please have a look. I will give that link to this video description. This AWS Transition Gateway, little bit complex architecture, but I will try to cover each and everything in deep details with hands-on. Okay, guys. So now this is the transition gateway, and in this hotel component we have like a transition gateway attachment, and then attachment peering, then route table. Then we have to create a static in the static route table in this, and these are the components. Similar component we have like VPC2 also. Okay, guys. So let's move on to the AWS console, and we'll do one by one, and we'll see how it is looks. Before that, let me explain like why we need this, right? So what is the AWS Transition Gateway actually? Now, AWS Transition Gateway is like a one service which provided by AWS Cloud. What purpose we can use? Like it's a kind of center hub, right? Center hub in the sense like suppose today you start your application or today you start your journey in AWS, like you have created one VPC, and day by day you are going to increase, and your network, that connectivity is going to complex, right? Day by day. If we are launching multiple VPC, VPN, and direct connect, these all going forward you are launching, right? Then that network, the connectivity, right? That looks very complexity, right? But if you are using like AWS Transit and Gateway, then it is a central hub, right? You can easily manage by center hub like all like cloud VPA, VPC, and as well as on-premise. Both you can connect to this service, right? So this is the benefit, like it's kind of central hub. You can use it, and by using this transit gateway peering, you can like one VPC to other VPC, we can communicate. And today's demo, I will talk about like two VPC in different region. Maybe in my subsequent video, I will talk about in the same region how we can communicate two different VPC by using AWS Transition Gateway. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's move on to the AWS console. So I have logged in here AWS console in the Virginia region, and let's go to the VPC, and let me create one VPC as per this architecture diagram, right? So let's create one VPC here. Let's give the VPC name, suppose my VPC1. Okay. And let's give the CIDR value something like that. So this CIDR value calculation, all like how it is calculating the IP, how it is allocating, how many IP is allocating, everything I have already explained in my VPC tutorial. So if you not yet watched my previous video about this VPC, so I would recommend please have a look so that you will get some idea, because in today's session, which all component we need for this AWS transition, right? Those many component only will cover here. But in my previous video, I covered many other component also about this VPC. Okay, guys. So let's create this VPC here. So this VPC, as we know, it's a isolated private network, right? To communicate from the internet, what we need the internet gateway. So let's create internet gateway here. Internet gateway. Okay. Let me create this internet gateway. Let's attach this internet gateway to my VPC. Okay. So this is done. So let me create the subnet here for my VPC and my subnet name is subnet something like that. And let's keep the availability zone and give the CIDR range, right? 26. Create one subnet. Okay. And these are the optional. Let's create the subnet here. Now go to the route table. Default route table is created. Let's give the name here. Like route table. Okay. And in this route table, let's allocate that routing policy and subnet association. So click on routing, edit routing, and add that internet gateway. Since internet gateway is the public endpoint, right? So that should be communicated to public IP, right? That is 0.0.0.0.0, right? So let's select that and select internet gateway. So internet gateway attachment is done. Now do the subnet association here. Let's attach the subnet here. Okay, guys. So this VPC is done here, subnet, route table, and internet gateway. For this today demo, these many component is good enough for this VPC, and remaining all component I have already talked about in my previous session. You can have a look. Okay. So now here what we are going to do here one more today our topic, right? The transition gateway, right? So transition gateway, click on here and let's create here transition gateway. So give my VPC one, suppose transition gateway. Okay. And description you can keep as it is, and this ASN number you can give default, or if you want you can give some number also, but this number should be have some range. If you don't want to give anything, that also fine. You can simply go ahead and create CIDR also, is optional. And if you want to give that have some range, that range could be, it's a big number, so it will start from here to here. Within this range only we can specify it. Okay, guys. So let me keep as blank. No need to select. Let me select the default only and create transition gateway. Now the transition gateway creation is done. So let me show you that component here. So this transition gateway, once you created the transition gateway, right, then we have to create the attachment, then routing policy, then we have to do, right, this thing. So let's go to that here. So it will take some time, and meantime let me open that another tab. As per this Oregon, let me switch to the Oregon as per our architecture diagram, right? Let me Oregon. And this also let me create one VPC. Okay, my VPC, and this is Oregon. Okay, and here keep the CIDR value, suppose 20.4.4.4/26. Okay, guys, let me keep everything as it is. Let's go here, and then again here also same. We have to do the internet gateway, which is the public access. So my VPC then internet gateway. Since this Virginia, this is pending, right? In meantime, I thought let's create this one so that there will be no downtime, right? So let me go to the attachment. Otherwise, I need to like, since I am doing live session, right? Otherwise, I need to pause and I need to record back again, right? Instead of that, I thought, okay, let's do parallelly both so that we no need to pause our record. Okay. So this is done. Now, once this for this Virginia region, that what the transition gateway is creation is done, right? So let's create that. Let me show you that this attachment. Let me create the transition gateway attachment. Let's click here. VPC one transition gateway. Something like that. and let's select the transition gateway, and let's select the VPC, and then select the VPC ID, which VPC, this is my VPC ID, and it will automatically how many subnet you have to that particular VPC, right? It will come here automatically. Let's create this. So this also will take some time to come online. So in the meantime, let's go to the other region, and here internet gateway is done. Let's go to the subnet, create subnet for my VPC2, and then my VPC2 should be in subnet. Okay, and then reference, let's give the 01 and CIDR value, right? 20.0.0/26. Okay, guys. So now the subnet creation is done. Then go to the route table. Same step. All both the as of now both the same step. Okay. Now give that C to route table. Okay. Like this. Let's do the routing here. Edit routing. Add routing. 00. Select the internet gateway here. And attach. Now this VPC we can communicate from the public internet, right? Because of that we need this internet gateway, right? Now go to the subnet association, edit subnet association, and then what we can do, we can select this one. Okay, guys, this is done. Now what I can do here, subnet, internet gateway, route, and this thing is done, right? In the Oregon also. So I am good here. Now go to the transition gateway. Let's create here transition gateway. See. Gateway. Okay. This also you can keep blank as default, or if you want, you can same thing you can select from here. This is the same range. Any number you can choose from start here to here. Okay. So let's keep, for me it is a blank. Okay. And then CIDR also let's keep optional. Create transition gateway. So this will also take some time to come online. Meantime, what we can do, so our this VPC, it's almost done, right? So transition gateway, and let me show you that. So attachment is ready. I hope it will now come online. So once it is come online, right? So it will, that the routing table automatically the details, the propaganda all, it will automatically add. Let me show you that propagation, right? So it is added here, and if you click on routing also, right? So here also it is added, that routing propaganda, right? It is now, it is a propaganda, right? So this is how it will be created automatically. So now in this service, as per this architecture diagram, right? So here we need to launch one app server, and that app server is going to be public IP, and I am going to launch DB, since DB, right? This is one more use case I can say. What this use case, suppose you have a customer, and that customer have their own data center, and that data center is deployed their own VPC, right? And that data center, whatever DB they have, right, that is completely in private network, right? And now your application is running in this header in this VPC, right? If this from this application to, if you want to communicate to this VPC, this private subnet, this database, then how we can communicate? By using this transition gateway pairing, we can communicate. I will show you that. So now VPC1, which is Virginia region, right? Let me launch one EC2 instance. Okay. Let me go to here. EC2. Instance here. Yeah, okay. And select the Linux. Select the key pair here. We have, this is the key pair. And select the this. We are going to select our own VPC, right? In that VPC, this is our subnet, and this is enabled. That's public assign IP enabled. Okay, and let's select the security group, default security group. Let me modify also that security group. Okay, guys. So I will show you, I will allow you all this port here. Let me go to this instance. Now go to the security group uh, for my VPC, right? So what is the security group? Check this for security group. See, just a minute. Let me go to the VPC. What is my VPC ID? So VPC ID is 1657, right? So that's 1657. This is the VPC, right? So let me give the name here first. Otherwise, it will be difficult to find. My VPC one is okay. Security group, something like that. Now here, let me go to inbound route. Let me edit. About the security group, in my previous video, I have already explained each and every details about the security group. So today's demo, I am not going to explain all these things. But if you not yet watched my previous video about the security group, right? Please have a look. So let me add the rule, and here for this today demo, let me allow everything here. Okay, and this is done. And outbound also, let's just cross verify everything is there. Okay, so security group wise we are good here. And let's go to the EC2 dashboard. Let's check instance is running or not. Now our app server is running. Okay, guys. So as per this diagram, app server is launched here and VPC also done. Now let me go to that architecture diagram one more time. Just so this app server is done, route table is done, subnet is done, internet gateway is done. Now in this transition component, attachment is done, routing table also done. Now this peering all I will show you in my next before that creating this peering, right? I will try to communicate this from this app server to this private IP. We'll see it is able to allow us to communicate or not. Then I will create this transition gateway peering. Okay, guys. So let's go to the other VPC here. So let me check that this transition gateway creation is done. Let me go to the attachment here. Let's create the attachment. My VPC transition gateway, VPN, something like that attachment, and select your VPC, VPC2, and attachment type is VPC. Let's keep as it is. Select your VPC, then it will select whatever subnet is available to that VPC, then create attachment. Okay, guys. So attachment creation also it is going on. Okay. Meantime, what we can do? Let's go to the EC2 and launch here DB server. Okay. Let me go to here running instance. Instance. Select DB, okay, DB server, select the Amazon free tiers, select the key, and then if you don't have key, you can create that web key here also. By click on create, you can create. Since I have already key, so I am just selecting that one. And now change your VPC. So this is way we can demonstrate like in your custom VPC how we can deploy EC2 instance, right? So this is how we can deploy in our custom VPC. This is our own VPC. This is a default VPC, right? So without VPC, you can't deploy any EC2 instance. And that security group, these two, this is the mandatory thing for this network setting. Whenever you are launching any EC2 instance, this is mandatory. One is the each and every region will have one default VPC. And if you, this is our custom VPC, right? So this is how we can launch in the custom VPC EC2 instance. So keep in mind, like this we can do. Now, since it is a private, right, database, right? So I will not enable that public IP generation. Okay, let's disable this and select the security group. Select the default security group here and then launch. Okay, guys, so let's see to launch. What we can do, let's go to the security group. We'll enable this thing here also. Go to the security groups. auto scaling, security groups. This is the security group. Let's keep that VPC to security group. And in this security group, inbound board. Similarly, I will allow here everything, or if you want, you can specific port also you can enable. So if you don't know how we can use that, so in my previous security group video, right, I have explained like only specific SSH or maybe only telnet like 23 or 22 port if you want to enable, or maybe only ping you want to enable, or any all TCP/IP or UDP. How we can do, I have already explained. You can have a look that also. I will give that link to this video description. And then outbound also, let's keep everything enabled here. Okay, so this is done. Now go to the EC2 instance. So now it is running. Now let's go to the transition gateway. So now this is also available. Now go to, in meantime, go to the transition route table here. So transition route table also created. Let me see that is this propagate or not. So let me click on route. See here it's a propagate, right? And propagation, if you click, it's enabled, right? So this is how this all everything is done, right? Now what as still now what we have done here, let me show you that. Still now we have done, we have launched VPC1, and in that VPC we have deployed app server, internet gateway according to CIDR value, subnet and route table. Everything is done and attachment also done. Similarly, VPC2 also in the Oregon region, I have done this all these thing. And then what I have done here, the transition gateway attachment is done, and then transition gateway route table is done. And here also attachment and route table and transition gateway creation is done. Now these two part is pending. These two part transition gateway like peering accept and peering create, and then that attachment of peering, these two, right? Basically these two only it will enable you to communicate to VPC by using this transition gateway. So now I will not enable this one. I will try to see without enabling that one I am able to communicate or not. So let's try to see that. So what I can do, so let's go to here, EC2 instance. This is my DB. Select this. See here, no public IP, all are private only. And other one, if you see here, app server, here is the private IP. So let's try to log in this private IP. Okay. So what I can do, let me go here, edit session, try to log in. Now I am able to log in, right? So this is, I logged in SSH by using Mobile Extreme. If you don't know how to do that Mobile Extreme, in my previous video, I have already explained this thing also. Please have a look. Okay. So let me go. Now I am able to. Now let's try to either do ping that private IP, right? Or let me ping that private IP if I am able to ping or not. Let's try to ping. It should not allow, right? Since it's a private, right? Without VPC peering or, sorry, just a minute. Let me go to here. This is the DB. Not working. The network here, VPC2. Private is allowed. Yes, let me go to details. Let me select again this. Host is unreachable. So see, it is not reachable, right? It's saying like host is unreachable and 100% packet drop, right? Since this there is no VPC pair, the transition peering, right? Transition gateway peering, right? That's why we are not able to reach, right? So let me go to the architecture diagram here. Now what I am going to do, I am going to that attachment, the peering create, right? I will do that, create this one, and then I will do the static route table for that particular CIDR. Let me show you how we can do that. So let's go to the AWS console again. Now this is the VPC, this is Oregon, and now let's go to here again, go to the transition gateway attachment. Now let me create one transition gateway attachment. So this time my VPC1 to my VPC2 transition gateway attachment. Okay, VPC1. This is like a VPC2 to 1. Okay, this is the 2 VPC. My Oregon is the 2. Okay, and select the VPC ID, VPC2. Now here interesting, this attachment type. Now I am going to select this attachment type, this gateway attachment, right? It's kind of like it's kind of friend request kind of sending. Like when we are sending friend request to other friend, then that friend, until they not accept, we cannot send, we cannot communicate to that friend, right? Or maybe that Bluetooth pairing, right? Mobile device or laptop, right? When we are doing the Bluetooth pairing, right? Until we accept that pairing connection, right? We cannot talk to each other, right? Similar thing from this Oregon, right? From this transition gateway attachment, I am going to create, and it will send to this VPC. Until this VPC accept that request, we cannot communicate with each other. Let me show you that. So let's go to here. Now we'll select, instead of VPC, we'll select that peering connection. Okay. And here, since both the region is the same account, right? So let's my account only. And if you have other account, then select this other account, and then other account details you have to give here. So since I have both the region the same with my account only, let's select. And my other VPC1, it's in which region? It's in Virginia region, right? So let's select this one. And this acceptor, who is the acceptor? Acceptor is, if you see here, click on here, right? This enter the ID of the transition gateway. Who is the acceptor? That ID we need to enter, right? Transition gateway ID. So let me go to here, transition gateway. So transition gateway, and let's select this one. And this is my ID, right? So let me show you that. This is my ID, transition gateway. So let's select this transition gateway ID here. Now, if you see here, let me go to the routing, show you that. So here now one request. So let me clear this. Now this transition is clear. Now it is initializing, right? So let me go to, now this is pairing is done. Now it is initializing. Now let's go to other region here. Let's go to the transition gateway attachment. Let me go to here. See, pairing is came here. If you see, right, it started initializing here. It's not yet done. Still, it is initializing state. Still, it is initializing state. If you click here, two pairing now. One is the pairing, one is the VPC, right? It's pending. Now, if you see here, pending for acceptance. Now, from this VPC2 to VPC1, friend request send is done. Like a pairing connection request is done. Now, go to here, and if you click on here, that this attachment, right? Now, click on action. Still, it is initializing. Just a minute. Now, this pending acceptance, right? So now click on action, accept the transition attachment, right? If you reject, then it won't be communicate. If you delete also, then there is no point or to communicate, right? So let's select accept. Once we accept here, right? Now it is still pending, and here also it will, instead of pending acceptance, right? It will be accepted. Now it will take some time. Just wait few minutes. This is done. This is done. Just a minute. Pending. It is pending. Still it is pending, right? So it will take some time. So meanwhile, what we can do, let's go to the transition route table. Once it is available, right? Here in the routing, we can create the static routing here also. And one more thing we need to do here in the route table, if you go here in the route table, we have to add the routing policy. We need to add that in my routing and go to the route, edit this, add route. Now this routing, like this is like in my Virginia region. Now Virginia region to Oregon region communication, right? So we have to give here other VPC CIDR value like 20.0.0.0/26, and then we have to select here this transition gateway, and it will come transition gateway and save. Same thing we have to do in other VPC also. Go to the route table, and this is my route table. Click on route table, edit route table, and here we have to add another VPC like 10.0.0.0/26, which is my Virginia region IP. And here select this transition gateway and then select this one. Now this attachment is done. Now go to here, policy, still it is pending. Oh, now it is available. We are good. Now what we can do here, let me go to the route table. Still we are not able to communicate. Let me, our creation is done, but peering is not set up, right? See, still not able to reachable, right? Still it is unreachable. If you see 100% packages. Now what we are going to do, this is the part we need to do. Static route table we have to create in that routing policy of that transition gateway routing table, right? So let's go to here, transition gateway route table, select this one and go to the routes, create a static route. Now here what we are going to do, this is the Oregon, right? Oregon means other VPC CIDR value like 10.0.0.0/26 active, and select the trans. Here we have to, there are two options. One is the attachment, one is the peering. So we have to select the peering here. This is the point, keep in mind. Everyone used to mistake here since two attachment is there, right? If you select this attachment, then peering won't work actually. If you want, I can show you that, but let's first working one selected, then I will show you. We will change this one and it won't communicate. Okay, so let's select this one. This routing is done. So let's go to here also, transition routing table. Let's select here and create static. Same thing here for other VPs 20.0.0.0/26. Okay, guys. Same thing here also. We have to select the peering. Now this is done. We are good now. This peering is done. EC2 instance done. Now let's see we are able to communicate or not. Still it is not allowing. Why? Still 100% packet loss. Maybe it is still it is initializing or what? Let me see. Go to the route table. Go to the routes. Propagate, peering static activated now. This is activated. This is Oregon. Peering static is activated. Okay, and other place check that. This is the routing. Propagate. Now it is activated. Okay, both are now it is activated. Okay, so let's try again. See, since it is activated, right? It will take some time to activate, right? Now it is activated. We are here. If you see initially we are unreachable since it's a private. Once we create the transition gateway peering, it's 100% packet loss. Then once we created the transition gateway peering, right? Now two defined region VPC, we are able to communicate like app server to database server, we are able to communicate, right? So now I was talking about, right? If you not select the transition gateway peering, the static peering, right? So let me show you that also. We can modify here. How we can modify? Replace routing, right? If you select this one, now instead of peering, let's select this one. And now replace this. Let's see. Let's try again. It will take some time to do, just a minute, since just now we have done, right? and other one also. Let me do that. This is the other one static. I do the replacement. Now instead of peering, let me select normal and replace. Okay, both I have done. Now let's try again. See, I am not able to communicate. So this point, keep in mind whenever you are doing the static routing. So always select here that that static one. Always select that peering one, that attachment, right? Here we will get the multiple option. Always select the peering one. Replace, and other route table also replace. Go to the route. This is how we can change. If you did mistake, right? Like this, we can replace also, or you can delete and you can recreate. And if you don't want to delete, then better you can replace this. Like this, we can replace. Okay. Now give few seconds. Let's go to here. It takes some few seconds to come online. It will come started. Just a minute. Check. Now it started coming. Once you change that policy, right, routing policy, it will take some time, right? So now we are able to communicate. So let me just quickly revise what we have done here. Okay, guys. So let's go to here. So what we have done in that Virginia region, I have created one VPC. In that VPC, cider range is this one. And internet gateway I have created and have attached that internet gateway. And then same thing, US East, I have done this one internet gateway. And this is the cider value. I have launched here one DB instance, EC2 instance. And here I have launched one app instance. This is the private and this is the public one I launched. Now, what I was trying to do by using this transition gateway peering from the public, this app server to DB server, I am communicating. For that, these are the transition gateway component I have created. This is for that US East, that Virginia region. This is US West to that Oregon region. Okay. And then I have created the transition peering so that we can communicate VPC1 to VPC2. So let me quickly just show you that in that console what I have done here. So in the VPC dashboard, if you go here, refresh, I have created one VPC here. My VPC, in that VPC, I have created subnet, my subnet, which is cider value, this one. And then I have this route table. In the route table, I have attached that internet gateway and the transition gateway. This to keep in mind. And then go to the transition gateway. In here, I have created the transition gateway. Once you have created, once it is available, then go to the transition attachment. Here, what I have done, first I have created this attachment, and once this attachment is available, then what I have done, then go to the transition route table. Then you are able to see that routing, that propagate, it is propagate by default. Once it is propagate, then we have to create the peering, the transition gateway peering. For that, what I have done here, click on transition gateway again, and here we have to create this what we called this one more transition gateway attachment. Once when we are creating attachment, this attachment type now I am going to change to peering connection so that it will create two VPC. By using this transition peering, we can communicate, right? So then once it is done, then what I have done, then I have accepted. So that point, keep in mind always you have to do the accept here. This is the now delete option is there. That time that accept option was there since from Oregon to I have sent request to Virginia. So now since already accepted, right? Now only delete option is there. Okay. That time it was accept, reject, and delete option was there, right? Once it is done, then what I have to do, this is done. Then I have to create a static route. So go to the routing. Let me show you that also quickly. In this route table, go to the routes and create the static route. Here, keep in mind, if we from the Virginia, I have to give the cider value of Oregon, like other VPC, and in the Oregon, I have to give the cider value of, this is the cider value, right? This cider value is the my Oregon VPC, like this one. Let me show you that. This is my CIDR value, right? So VPC2. So VPC2 CIDR value I need to give while I'm creating the static routing, and then for VPC2 while I'm creating the static routing, I need to give the VPC1 CIDR value. Okay, guys. I hope this session will helpful to you guys. And while you are doing the hands-on after seeing this video, and if you face any issue, you can put your comment to this video comment section. I will address. And if you face any issue or anywhere you got stuck, please let me know. I will address that. And in my subsequent, this is like two different region, right? Going forward in my subsequent video, I will show you like in the same region how we can do. And this transition gateway, not only VPC, it can be for VPN, it can be for on-premise. It's kind of central hub, right? So anything can be, and it will be really good visualization. Let me quickly show you that AWS console here. So this is the document here, and if you see, this is the transition gateway. Here the direct connect, VPN, customer gateway, VPC, it can be multiple VPC, it can be communicate. It's a central hub. Okay, guys, I will give this link to this video description. You guys can have a look this. So it will give some little more details about this transition gateway. Okay, guys, so if this video is helpful to you guys, and if you feel like it's valuable to you guys, then please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It will really inspire to me, and it would really support to me. Thanks, guys. See you in my next video. Chalo, bye.